Barnaby was a special dog. He lived in Manhattan, a very big city. Tall buildings reached for the sky. Yellow cabs zoomed down busy streets. Barnaby was not like other city dogs. He did not just chase squirrels in the park. He had a very important dream. He wanted to finish high school. What a clever and determined pup he was. It was a most unusual ambition for a dog. Manhattan was a place of endless noise. Sirens wailed in the far distance. People talked loudly on their phones. Music played from open shop doors. Barnaby navigated these streets with care. He learned the rhythm of the city. He watched the green lights for crossing. He saw students with backpacks and books. He thought, I can do that too. His heart was full of hope and excitement. His journey to education was unique. No other dog had tried this before. Some people smiled when they saw him. They saw a dog with books in his bag. Others looked puzzled, not understanding. Barnaby did not mind their stares. He held his head high and trotted on. He knew what he wanted to achieve. He was ready for the challenge ahead. His spirit was strong and full of courage. The school was a large, old building. It had many windows and wide doors. Inside, long hallways echoed with sounds. Lockers lined the walls, row upon row. Barnaby found his way to his first class. He sat quietly, ready to learn. The teachers were surprised, but kind. They saw the spark of intelligence in his eyes. He was a pioneer, a furry student. His adventure in learning had truly begun. Barnaby was a self-supporting student. This meant he needed to earn money. School books and supplies cost a bit. He also needed food and a warm place. Manhattan was an expensive place to live, so Barnaby found work to do. He was a responsible and diligent dog. He knew the value of honest work. It was not always easy for him, but he never thought of giving up. He traveled to the busy suburbs. The train ride was long each day. He worked several part-time jobs there. He helped at a friendly bakery. The smell of fresh bread was wonderful. He delivered newspapers in the morning. Waking up early was sometimes hard. He also helped an elderly lady. He carried her groceries with care. She always gave him a gentle pat. The work was often tiring for him. His paws would ache after a long day. He would travel back to the city late. The train would be quiet then. He would sometimes doze off a little. But then he would remember his homework. There was always studying to do. He had to balance work and school. It was a difficult balancing act, yet his determination kept him going. Sometimes the weather was very bad. Rain would pour down in sheets. Snow would make the streets slippery. The wind would howl through the buildings. Barnaby still went to his jobs. He still went to his classes. He wore a little yellow raincoat. He had tiny boots for the snow. He showed everyone his resilience. He was a true example of perseverance. Balancing school and work was tough. Barnaby often felt very tired. He would study late into the night. His small lamp would be the only light. The city outside would slowly quieten. He would read his textbooks carefully. He learned about history and numbers. He even learned a little bit of French. He would practice softly. He was a very dedicated scholar. He was not entirely alone on his journey. He found kindness in many places. His teachers were very supportive. They admired his strong will to learn. They gave him extra help when needed. Some classmates became his good friends. They shared their notes with him. They would save him a seat in class. A friendly librarian often smiled at him. She would help him find the right books. He also had animal friends who helped. A wise old cat lived in his building. She would offer him quiet company. Sometimes she shared her warm spot. Pigeons in the park would greet him. They seemed to understand his mission. These small acts of friendship meant a lot. They gave Barnaby strength to continue. He knew he was not just a lone dog. He was part of a caring community. There were days he felt like giving up. The challenges seemed too big to face. His body ached from work and travel. His mind was weary from constant study. But then he would remember his dream. He would think of the kind faces. He would recall words of encouragement. He would take a deep breath and he would pick up his pen again. His spirit was truly unbreakable. The day of graduation finally arrived. It was a bright and sunny day in May. Barnaby wore a tiny graduation cap. It sat jauntily between his ears. He walked proudly with his classmates. He heard his name called out, Barnaby with highest honors. Everyone clapped and cheered loudly. He felt a warm glow inside him. He had achieved his amazing dream. After graduation, Barnaby did not rest. He had a new idea, a new goal. He wanted to help the city he loved. He heard about an internship program. It was at the New York City Hall. He wanted to work in the treasurer's office. He thought he could be very useful there. He was good with numbers from his studies. He was honest and very hardworking. This was his next big adventure. He put on his best collar that day. He polished his little name tag. He carried his diploma with him. He walked to the impressive City Hall. The building was very grand and old. It had tall columns and wide steps. He felt a little nervous inside, but he also felt very determined. He remembered all he had overcome. He knew he could face this too. He went to the treasurer's office. He politely asked to apply. The people there were quite surprised. A dog applying for an internship. But they saw his earnest, hopeful eyes. They saw his diploma and his smart collar. Barnaby wagged his tail ever so slightly. He was ready for the interview. His future looked bright and full of promise. His resilience had brought him this far. Like us, follow and share if you love this awe-inspiring story.